Believe it. Okay.
What's going on, Geeks? You're listening to episode 393 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name's Cody Armour. I'm here with Lj.Lowery.
Yo.
And Shelley Nollan.
Hello.
And this week, we're geeking out about the rights of voice actors, because we should always geek out about that.
Oh, yeah.
And San Diego Comic-Con stuff. Although, usually when we have San Diego Comic-Con, I feel like we completely change the format of the podcast. We're like, these are the big things. I don't know if it's just me. There wasn't a whole lot that I was like, we've got to, like, not enough to change the format of the show this week.
Even for gaming, like, all the gaming stuff that came out of that was, like, Marvel Rivals. Like, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, a lot of, like, teasing things and, like, there's kind of, like, this thing you kind of knew about, now there's maybe a date, possibly, or maybe there's just another tease of it.
Yeah.
Like, not a lot of, like, big
trailers,
announcements.
We don't have, like, 8 trailers that we have to figure out.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll kind of go over the ones that we care about. But, yeah, it's interesting.
It's different. Also, remember, a reminder, it is episode 393 at episode 400. That'll be kind of a big season finale in a lot of ways. We'll be taking a break after that. That's, like, 2 months away?
No, I wouldn't say 2 months.
A month and...
I don't know. I guess it's maybe... Yeah, it's kind of 2 months-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's a little bit.
So,
it's got a little bit.
Slow burn. But I do want to keep reminding everyone so that, you know, when you get there, you're not like, where did the show go?
But I also think it is going to be a very special episode, though, too.
Yeah, for sure. Don't know what we're going to do yet for sure, but it's going to be emotional at the very least for me. And probably you guys too.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, right? Let's go. Let's move forward. I have not been playing video games really at all lately.
Me neither.
I have just been... But I say I've been really busy. I don't know if I've been really busy. I'm just watching a crazy amount of television.
Okay, that's fair.
So, am I really busy? I think I just need to pick up a game. LJ, what have you been playing?
Yeah, so I was one of the lucky ones to get in the most recent Marvel Rivals beta. Nice. So they had an invite-only Steam beta, and then they have a
revealed
console.
At Comic-Con?
Well, the beta started before Comic-Con.
Okay.
So they had, like, a super limited one, like, a few months back, and then they did, this was their first console closed beta, and then they did a thing where if you sign up through Steam, then there's a chance you could get an invite, and so I was one of the lucky ones to catch an invite. And so it's fun. I enjoy it so much. I've played with some friends at this point. The characters are really good. It's an Overwatch. It's definitely an Overwatch clone. It's a hero shooter, but it just does so much that makes it unique as well. There's a lot of well-known and some more obscure. Actually, I'm impressed with the obscure characters they've got. But it's really cool. Like the roster of Marvel villains and heroes is really good. They don't necessarily just pick the biggest names out of a hat and like go, So a few of my characters I actually enjoy a lot. I got pretty good with Namor. They still pronounce it Namor.
Namor.
Which I do like the South American angle, though. I think it's great that they stuck with it. The art style is really cool. It's like it's definitely got like this like cyberpunkish Japanese look, because it's very much almost like a part of the multiverse that's very influenced in that type of culture. I mean, I think NetEase is a overseas like studio, I believe, as well, that's making it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Namor is a character I got really good with. I started getting really good with Venom. They have a skin that I am grinding to high heavens for, and I think I'm halfway there. You get a permanent unlock, so it's a cyan colored. It's like a blue Venom, which it's a straight up reference to the Marvel vs. Capcom games, and I'm like,
yeah,
I need that. So it's just like they've given a little mini battle pass. The beta started last week, and I think it actually ends like this coming. Like, there's still another week of it. So, like, I'm definitely going to get some time with it, some more. So, it's going to be free to play, and it's probably going to have a battle pass and all that stuff. But I recommend it for especially lapsed Overwatch players, like for people who probably don't play Overwatch anymore. Like, this is gonna scratch the itch. The melee characters are super awesome. Like, I never thought I'd say this, but like, I hate Spider-Man. Like, I agree with Jonah for once.
No.
Spider-Man is a dang menace.
Well,
There are some good Spider-Man players out there, but there's gameplay of this is super fun to watch. Like, you can watch highlights of different players like on your team after you finish the match. So it's just really fun seeing people like do well with some of these heroes. Yeah, definitely Namor and Venom are like my top two. Yeah, it's super cool though.
I saw a trailer, and I actually wasn't paying close enough attention to see if it was for Marvel Rivals or Marvel Snap, or it was Marvel something. That they added Jeff the Shark.
Yes, so that's kind of what I was gonna get into with some of the announcements, but Jeff the Shark is a super obscure character, and he has his own solo series now too. But no, I love Jeff the Shark. He's great. He just reminds me of so they have this show on Netflix called Shark Dog that my nephew watched, which I actually kind of like dig the show. Like, I'm just like, it's cute. But I'm like, it basically just reminds me of Shark Dog. And another cute thing he does is he has this ability where he goes underground, almost like a street shark. And so he like sings the Jaws theme song when he's under the ground.
Gosh.
He's like da 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 da. Like, I'm just like, I love this. Like,
so
he's
cute.
so cute. I saw a clip. So one of Hulk's ultimates, or part of his ultimate ability, if you get close enough to somebody, you can grab him and throw him around, kind of like he does Loki. And I saw this TikTok clip of somebody witnessing Hulk doing that to Jeff the Shark. And everybody's like, oh no! Like, why would you do that to Jeff? Oh, it was so great though. Like, it was the caption was, poor Jeff biting the curb. And I'm just like, bro.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I'm looking at like pictures of Jeff now.
he's great.
And how anti-King Shark he is.
No,
like-
yeah.
So-
everything King Shark is not from DC.
Yes.
And you know what's funny is like what I thought was particularly funny about seeing Jeff the Shark as a trailer for that is that one of the games I've been playing, I hate to segue, but one of the games I've been playing is there's another beta weekend for Rivals 2.
Rivals, nice.
And they finally released my boy Orcane, who,
Ooh.
Cody, if you look up Orcane from Rivals, is
So-
also a whale dog.
look up venomized Jeff the Shark, and he straight up looks like an orca. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like they need that skin in Marvel Rivals, like straight up.
Oh,
Like,
that'd be cool.
he looks nutty. No, that's
Arcane
cool though.
from Rivals.
Mm-hmm.
Orcane.
I'm getting a lot of Arcane. I'll have to you'll send me something.
It's
Like
O-R.
Arcane.
Orcane, like an orca,
Orcane.
not arcane.
Oh.
Like an orca, like
Orcane.
Orcane. Mm-hmm.
No,
Got it.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Orcane's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I remember trying Orcane a little bit.
Yeah. And he was my main in Rivals 1, so I've been looking forward to him in Rivals 2, and they finally announced it, and he's in the beta. So it's been fun. But been fun playing as him. There's still a lot
We
Oh,
of
need a
weird...
little crossover, the two.
I know, yeah. I just think it was so funny seeing, like, Jeff the Shark. I'm just like, dude, it's just like Orcane. That's just him.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with I'm happy with most of Orcane's sort of transition into Rivals 2. It's obviously still a beta, so like things are gonna change. A lot of people are kind of mad with like a lot of things they've done with him, and I'm like, I think some things will be tweaked. I think it's also different games, so there's some differences there. His animations look really great though, and I'm getting more used to how he looks. I was pretty mad about the yellow eyes. He looks like he has jaundice. He had little beady little black eyes before. And now he has like pupils, which is weird. So I'm kind of getting used to that. But I'm just happy he's in the game. And all of the Rivals 1 characters, aside from Ori and Shovel Knight, because they were like indie, guest stars basically, I think they're all going to come to Rivals 2, which is exciting. And they also already announced that they're adding Lorena, who is a workshop character. She won a contest, and so she'll be in the game as well. Which I always think is so cool how they're so supportive of these workshop
Very
characters.
Community, yeah.
Mhm.
Driven.
I wonder how that's going to work for Rivals 2, because I feel like it's going to have to, but I never
It just
did workshop stuff,
It just
so I don't
sounds
know.
like that's cool. They're grandfathering that character into like the roster, though. I think that's really neat.
Mhm. No, it's really cool. They have such a supportive, like, interactive sort of community between like the devs and the fans, which is really neat. And did you play anything else, by the way, before I continue? Or was that it?
No, you did mention Marvel Rivals, and there was a night I couldn't sleep, and for whatever reason, I turned on Marvel Rivals, and I played it for like 2 hours in the middle of the night one night, and did the Deadpool event. So that was pretty much it. I've just been Marvel all week, apparently.
Because besides Rivals too, again, just this weekend, I'm still just playing Stardew, and it's really weird, man. Like, my backlog has gone nowhere. It's not gotten bigger. It's just been stagnant. And you know what? I think that's fine. That's better than it getting bigger, right? Going back to a game you've already beaten. And I finally got my husband into it. We've been playing together, which has been really fun. Because it is sort of like, you know, it has kind of similar Minecraft vibes, but it's like different. Like, because for me, it's like there's way more functionality than there are aesthetics, and like, but there are both. Whereas Minecraft, I feel like there's more aesthetics than there is functionality, if that makes sense. Just in the way that we usually play, like, you know, and you can create this farm, and it could look beautiful, but at least it does something. Whereas if you make like a castle in Minecraft, you kind of just look at it for the most part, unless you're like a redstone fiend, which I'm not. So I'm happy to be doing some co-op with him. It's pretty fun. But that's all I've played.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Sweet. Well, we can get into gaming news.
Yeah.
I couldn't continue gaming news without mentioning the SAG AFTRA stuff that came up this past week. That's huge. So, like, I already know actors themselves. Like, you know, actors do technically, I guess, for big companies. Like, if you're in a big movie, you probably still get paid a good amount of money. But the people that get paid even less are voice actors, I think, across the board. And even video game voice actors, I bet you, I can't imagine they probably get paid peanuts, you know, like, and I think this is huge. There are definitely specific companies that they cited, I guess. I forgot where I read that, but, you know, obviously they're all the big AAA companies for the most part and developers, you know, but I think that's a good move, just especially like in this space, because apparently it all goes back to the same reason that SAG AFTRA was striking before, was the AI stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like genuinely, like that's a good reason. And you know, they do deserve to be paid more. Inflation sucks also, you know, like,
yep.
You know, we all got to deal with it, you know, no matter what job we have, you know, so, I guess there are some, according to something I saw, there are some exemptions or certain things that aren't going to be affected by it. I think GTA 5 is one of them. I don't necessarily know, like, if that means the dialogue has already been recorded, or if maybe they've made arrangements with certain companies just to be like, hey, finish this up, you know, because I forget, I think the strike actually started on Friday. But at the end of the day, I bet you, like, some of these actors have certain contracts or certain things that they're probably still finishing up. Or probably, you know, one of those things where as soon as that's over, you know, they're going to join their, you know, the rest of their, you know, people. But
I've seen certain games are exempt too.
Yeah.
GTA 6.
Yeah, GTA 6 was the one. And then I don't know what else, but yeah, no, this is a good move. I really don't have much else to say. I think this needs to happen. So yeah, but
yeah, I remember back when the bigger sort of actors strike was happening, and I remember sort of in the midst, but like definitely right after. Like, I was still on Twitter at the time, and I really don't check Twitter all now, but
this was in
all
talks,
these
I think, at the time.
all these voice actors I was following were like, we're not happy still. There's still problems in our industry specifically that's not getting addressed, and I'm like, yep, oops. Defend yourselves, help yourselves, please. And so I'm glad they are.
Yeah, so I mean, it just kind of makes me think, like, I guess to transition, there is a new trailer for Marvel Rivals, for some content that's been coming out, or that's going to come out when the game comes out, which mentioned, you know, like, you know, Jeff the Shark and Thor were like the characters that came out this weekend, but I feel like a big one that kind of stuck out to me was they revealed Doctor Doom is going to be in the full game, which
that's topical.
Fitting. But what is this? I don't remember what is the name that's voicing him. Travis Willingham. Whatever?
Yeah, he's huge.
One of the Critical Role. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
I know, but that's a big enough name to where I'm like, oh yeah, that dude's definitely probably part of like SAG AFTRA, because
Totally.
I'm sure all the
Oh,
Critical
yeah.
Role people were, like even in
You said Travis Critical Role, and I was like, I got it.
yeah, I forget. Yeah, I couldn't remember how to say his last name off the top of my head, but that just for whatever reason that stuck out to me when I saw that trailer, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I imagine most of those voice lines, if all of them, are already recorded,
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes me think of like notable, and I say that because he's a notable voice actor, so.
Mhm.
I'm sure he probably doesn't even get paid what he probably deserves, so it's a tough industry. Video games spend, there's such high production costs. So, but anyway, yeah, so Marvel Rivals, he is playing Doctor Doom, which I think is dope. That's a pretty cool trailer. If y'all do want to check it out at some point, it makes me more hyped for the game. I imagine there's got to be some other voice actors that are doing. Oh, Yuri Lowenthal does reprise Spider-Man in this game too, which is great.
Okay, that's fun.
But yeah, it has me thinking like these are probably some actors in this game that are like, oh yeah, they're probably striking at this point. I don't necessarily know who does Thor. If I looked it up, it probably wouldn't be like it'd probably be somebody well known enough. Thor is pretty legit. He's another new character I played as, but. We're all at a point where I think Marvel Rivals did it. I almost kind of wish they would have waited to put out their trailer after the other big announcement. But I'm like, it was definitely a Doom weekend. The dude, his art style.
We're doomers this weekend.
Yes.
We're out here dooming.
His character design just looks so awesome. And this gave everybody just another reason to be excited for Marvel Rivals. I saw something. I don't know if this is true. I think the beta launched, or the beta has like 20 characters in it or something like that. Or if not, it will get to 20. I think this might be it. It's at least 20. And then I saw the full roster I think when it actually comes out is going to be 39. I don't know how true that is, but I'm like, dang, that's a lot of heroes and villains already. So, yeah, again. Last time I'll talk about Marvel Rivals for the rest of the night, but Overwatch people, I think, who no longer play Overwatch and are Marvel fans should definitely look into this game. So
Yeah.
Cool. And then the last piece of news, I'm mentioning this mostly for the cameos because I don't know how our audience exactly. I know I talk about Mortal Kombat in the past, but. Mortal Kombat 1 has an expansion which follows the similar formula of how they did Mortal Kombat Aftermath for Mortal Kombat 11. So that's got like a new story, some new content, but more importantly, people are interested in the characters. So you have female versions of Cyrac and Sector, which were like the robot ninjas.
Mm-hmm.
Noob Saibot's coming back. There's another character I believe that was coming back, but the big ones are the I guess guest ones. So this kind of follows like how I mentioned Lucy from like Cyberpunk and Guilty Gear. You got Ghostface, which I think is cool. That seems fitting because they've done horror characters before. Conan the Barbarian, which I'm like, okay. It's yes. I mean, they did Rambo, so I'm just and like RoboCop and Terminator, like last game. So I'm like, okay. And then you have, I guess another one. This makes sense, but you have the T-1000 from Terminator, Terminator 2, Liquid Metal.
Has he never been before?
No. So the T-1000 is the Liquid Metal guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Who
But we
played
had a Terminator before, right?
Yeah, we had Arnold. We had the Arnold Terminator. The actor who played, I forget his name off the top of my head, but the actor who played the T-1000 played Peacemaker's dad in the Peacemaker show. But yeah, I don't know if he's actually reprising the voice or anything, but that's not one of the other characters. So, for if people are still playing Mortal Kombat 1, I know people aren't like the biggest. There's not a lot of people that are huge fans of this one, but yeah, there they go with their cameos again. And that was kind of like the other news that came out of SDCC, like for gaming.
I was gonna say, is it really a fighting game if you don't have like really weird niche crossovers? Because I feel like we just talked about Guilty Gear Strive.
Yeah, and like Mortal
Cyberpunk.
Kombat and Soul Calibur are kind of like the grandfathers. Like the whole like they started this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Soul Calibur, they had the Heihachi, PS2, Link, GameCube.
I was gonna say they had Link in there. It's so like
I fought my brother on us getting the GameCube version. He wanted the Spawn one so bad.
Yeah, I had that Soul
And I'm just
Calibur.
like-
Only Soul Calibur I've ever owned because you
Yeah.
can play as Link, and I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, and my brother's like, dang, like he was like, I can't believe you're really fighting me on this. I'm like, dude, it's Link. Like I'm like, Spawn is Spawn, but it's Link.
You could throw a bomb, do a roll, throw
Yeah.
them off a cliff. It was amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and then Mortal Kombat started, like, even Mortal Kombat 9, they did, like, Freddy Krueger and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's definitely, yeah, that's kind of it, though. There will probably be more of that as the years go on with some of these fighting games. Even Street Fighter was doing it. I don't think I mentioned it but they're having, like, King of Fighters characters in Street Fighter 6 now, so, yeah, it's wild. So that's it for gaming news.
Should have got Mario and Soul Calibur.
yeah.
That'd been great.
Cool. We'll get into the movies that we've been watching. LJ, you and I saw the movie of the month for sure. I think at the very
Yeah.
least. Deadpool and Wolverine. Probably my most anticipated movie of the year, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you go first. I know I enjoyed it. I want to throw that out there because I
Yeah.
have some things to say. I laughed so much.
Oh yeah.
And I loved the movie, but in the way that I just like kind of love every movie. So go ahead, LJ.
I enjoyed it. With like obviously we can't get into detail, but I don't think like Deadpool was still a star of the show. Wolverine is definitely like it's Deadpool and Wolverine. Like I love all the marketing material. They're like, well, it's not Wolverine and Deadpool. So there was like no like I feel like screen time for all the important characters like was fine. I'm kind of slightly bummed because over the past few months and as this movie has been coming out, I've seen a lot of like leaks and rumors, and it sounds like, and from what I've seen, it's mostly true. Like everything I saw was like, I'm like, okay, yeah, like I heard that was probably gonna happen. I heard this was gonna happen, and I'm like, I'm kind of slightly bummed about it, but I still enjoyed the movie. I do want to give them props because the theme is very much like capitalism and corporate, nonsense, because of all the jabs that get made fun of with Marvel and Disney and Fox in this whole movie. Like that's a trailer thing. Like it's still a very self-contained movie, which I gotta give them props for that. Because we all know Marvel, everything's like, oh, we're gonna throw this thread in there because this is gonna lead to another movie. This is gonna lead to this. I feel like if you're not somewhat familiar with some of these older movies, especially with like the Fox stuff and Deadpool in general, and like if you haven't watched Marvel movies in the past, much of them, like you're probably gonna be a little bit lost.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and it's kind of unfortunate because you can't really prep anyone without spoiling too much. But like,
I mean, we've
most
seen trailers.
MCU movies, you need to watch all the MCU to really get.
Yeah.
In this, you really should watch all of the Fox Marvel movies.
So I'll say this only because
Really appreciate this movie.
Only because they've been mentioned in trailers, which I feel like they did us a low blow when the trailers showed old Sabretooth and Daphne Keane.
Yeah.
Like those are
They
trailers.
should
Stuff.
not have shown.
That one was a low blow
Daphne
for me
Keane.
because I loved Logan. Like that one made a grown man cry. Like straight up. Like that was like that's one of my favorite. Like that's a top 10 movie for me. So it's just one of those things. It's like for people who haven't really watched any of those movies in the past, like you're probably going to be a little lost. But other than that, like I feel like they don't do. Like I do appreciate your angle from looking at it. But I think there's definitely they did it tastefully. I think, but it also could be taken another way. But No, I still enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds is hilarious. Ryan Reynolds plays himself and everything. I watched like a lie detector interview.
Dude, that was
between
funny.
him and Hugh Jackman.
I saw that
and they
too.
even like they even like call him out for it. It was like, is this why you have no range? You just play yourself in every movie.
Yeah.
And he's very self-aware of that. But I've loved the other Deadpool movies, and so as far as the humor goes, it's just more of that Deadpool humor. It's great.
Yeah.
The celebration of Fox stuff I really like, but I'm kind of into all the nostalgia. Like, they feed me nostalgia, and I just consume it, and it's...
This is why you think I'm gonna hate it. And you're probably right, because I didn't watch a lot of Fox stuff growing up at all. Like,
but I also think that's gonna be a reason you might actually like it too. Like, it's gonna be either.
We got at the beginning of the podcast, and I told Shelley, I was like, I don't think it's gonna be your movie.
You're like, I love it, but you're gonna hate it. Now I need to see it.
Yeah,
I really got
it's a celebration of all these older movies, but like
Ryan Reynolds said himself, it's not a welcoming to the MCU. It's more of like a send off to how they got started, basically. Yeah,
which I do like. I think that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it was really interesting that I thought this was going to be. I mean, he's like in the trailers, you know, a Marvel Jesus, so I thought there was going to like come into the MCU a little bit stronger, and you don't see as much of that as I thought that you would. But I won't get too much in the plot. More that I wanted to touch on as far as the listeners go was, I think that IGN is kind of hit it on the head when they said that it's really missing heart. It's like cheap thrills. It's like, hey, we'll just put a bunch of money into cameos and you'll love it, and we'll get Ryan Reynolds humor and you'll love it. And we're not going to really worry about the story too much because we don't need to do that.
Yeah,
is Nick Cage Ghost Rider in it?
I'm not giving anything away,
dude. That would get me excited if he's in it. What was I gonna say? Yeah. You know what's crazy about IGN? Sorry, I don't want to dog on IGN, but I might dog on them a little bit. They gave this movie a 7 out of 10. They give everything a 7 out of 10 nowadays. It's kind of, I know it's like a whole joke of theirs, but like they gave like She-Hulk like an 8 out of 10 or something. And everyone's like freaking out. And granted, I haven't seen either, but I just think that's funny. I'm just like, wait, huh?
Okay, so
I would think this is better than
Columbia
She-Hulk.
Pictures did Ghost Rider. We'll leave that at that.
Fine.
No, I saw that 7 rating from IGN, and I was like, that's stupid. And then I looked at Rotten Tomatoes, and Rotten Tomatoes giving it like 80s and 90s scores, and I was like, yeah, I'm excited for this movie. And so watching it, like I was in that same boat of IGN. I was like, I don't care what IGN says. This movie's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And seeing like their reasonings on things, you said She-Hulk got an 8. I'm like, well, it was better than She-Hulk. But I understood that that perspective of like, oh yeah, as far as the writing and the story goes for this movie, they kind of let that go like to the wayside.
I agree on the story because
that's what Marvel needs is good story.
I
that's
heard
what we've been missing.
the story through some of the leaks and rumors I was seeing, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, that would be lame if that was actually the plot. And then like it turned out to be the actual like plot, and I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of sucks. Yeah. But I still, but I'm like, it's still really good.
Like we had Loki, and we've had even Thanos to a certain extent. These characters where we really cared about their backstories, these villains. We really like. I don't know. They were good villains.
I actually did kind of like.
I
actually did kind of like this villain.
But there's no like reason for really. It's just kind of.
There's really not.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, there could have been more. They could have done a lot more in the.
I honestly thought she was going to be a way lamer villain than she turned out to be.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the MCU as a whole, not just this movie, just really has like a story issue. I'm hoping that the new Captain America movie will kind of bring that back.
Oh, true. Yeah, people are pretty excited about that.
That was just, I think I had that feeling for a long time, and then Guardians of the Galaxy 3 really brought that home to me, that I was like, this is a good movie. This has good story.
They could still do this. Like,
yeah, it had nothing to do with cameos or anything. It was just like a solid movie. And so I think that that was what I was hoping from Deadpool and Wolverine, was Deadpool humor, but Wolverine storytelling. And specifically Logan. So I don't know why I'm holding on to that one movie so specifically, because Wolverine Origins wasn't great. But to me, when I think of Wolverine, I think of like really good story because of Logan, probably. And so I was kind of hoping that would get kind of interminced in there a little bit, and that part is a little bit lost.
Yeah,
but I laughed the whole time. I liked it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I think just from a critical mind, I could see it getting a lower score, but for me, I would like to watch it again. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I don't want anyone hearing me dog on it thinking that like I hated it or anything.
No, but you're right though. It is lacking in a certain way, like to an extent. But like what it lacks doesn't make it any less of a movie, I think.
I just think it's funny that you literally were like, I loved it. Has everything I wanted. Here's a small critique, and you're like, people are gonna think I hate it now. Like, you literally said you loved it.
But it's true though. I mean, that's
So
that's
I'll
how
watch
it
it this
Yeah.
week, and then you'll hear me rant about it next week. I don't know
Do
when I'll
it.
watch it. No clue.
Do it.
I hope you do. I so want to hear.
I think I want to watch it, but I don't know if I necessarily want to go to theaters for it. I'm gonna be honest. I may wait. I don't know.
That's fine.
Maybe. I don't know.
I am getting.
I don't know.
We'll talk about the movie news coming up, but that like this movie and then the next like the movie news you're gonna bring up. I did have a moment today where I was like, "Am I done with the MCU?" I don't know yet.
People have had thoughts about that way before you.
Oh yeah,
Given
for
this
sure.
era,
That's
given
why like
these
I'm
arcs.
such a ride or die, and I'm getting to a point now where I'm like, is it done for me? And I don't know the answer to that yet. I am still so excited for dumb things like a Red Hulk. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Shelley.
Yeah, well, let's just get into it. So I think probably the biggest news that I care about, at least coming out of San Diego Comic-Con in general, is that they announced Avengers Doomsday, and specifically Robert Downey Jr. is going to play Victor Von Doom.
That's so divisive
which is-
right now.
I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's a desperate move, blah, blah, blah. I respect that opinion, but I take it in this sort of direction instead of like, they've kind of been trying to do this like interesting multiverse stuff, and it's been really hit or miss, obviously, but I think this could be a real hit. It's kind of like if they finally, doubled down on that evil Doctor Strange from What If and like actually went forward with that. Like they kind of teased like they were maybe going to do for the second Doctor Strange movie, and then they didn't do that. And technically, I guess there's still room for that, but I think that's kind of what they need to do is keep exploring like what does a multiverse look like,
And
with like all
they
these
have a
different
what-if
crazy
story
things.
where
And
Stark does become Doctor Doom as well.
yeah, like Kang didn't work very well. Unfortunately, I think the Jonathan Majors stuff really just mucked that one up quite a bit. Obviously, that was out of Disney's hands, but
I've seen rumors that they're still going to continue with that in Secret Invasions. We'll see there, but
okay.
I don't think it won't be Jonathan Majors for sure.
Well, sure, but I think also this is a situation in which I am biased. There's not a lot of, recent MCU projects where I'm like genuinely excited about it. But, and we'll kind of get into it too, but like I grew up watching a lot of Fantastic Four, like cartoons and stuff. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude, Doctor Doom, like, it's that guy, like that's him. I'm just like, it's Doom, like he's such a cool villain. Like I've always cared about him more than.
Those might be on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I've always cared about him more than Magneto. I've always cared about him more than Thanos. Like just as a comic sort of figure. So, and I think this is very clearly taking a different direction for him, and I think that's okay. Actually, I think that's a neat, cool idea where it's like again, I could see a alternate universe where Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man went bad. It's like we've seen so many times in which that could have happened throughout the MCU we know already. So to actually explore an opportunity where that happens, I think is really cool. Because again, even with like Avengers 2, so easily he could have just like embraced what's his name? The villain? Yeah,
Oh,
Ultron.
yeah, Ultron, yeah.
He, like, super could have embraced Ultron. Like, that was originally his idea. Then he, like, almost went too far with the Civil War stuff, but then he always kind of backed off and was like, you know what? No, like, I'm going to redeem myself and I'm going to be good. I'm going to do what's for the best for everyone. I just think, like, if that man cracked, dude, he's so smart, he could do whatever. I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Even if it
I
is
think
not classic.
My hesitation lies in their wording in the announcement. That's what you're talking about. Is what I want. I want Tony Stark to become Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. The way that they worded it was we needed an actor to play Victor Von Doom. And the only one they could choose was Robert Downey Jr.
A bit.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
Like, get your own Victor Von Doom and make him... Because Tony Stark has been Doctor Doom before in comics and stuff and taken on that moniker. And I think that would be so cool to see. But making Robert Downey Jr. a different character because you can, and like, it's the multiverse, so this actor can play this other role.
Yeah.
I get would be cool for the actor.
So strange.
But yeah, I would like to see other actors like take it on.
It's like when my husband, he's been watching MASH, and I've never seen MASH, so sorry if you're listening to this and you're like a diehard MASH fan and this doesn't make sense, but there's like there's an actor who plays a character in season like 1 or 2, and he's like a character, and then that character like leaves, and then like multiple seasons later, that actor comes back as a different character. And my husband was telling me how he's like it's this guy, I remember this guy. And then they like treat him like he's a totally new guy because he's supposed to be a totally new guy. He's like a different character entirely. I'm just like, dude, that better not happen. Like, and I don't think they would do that. I think that'd be really weird, but you're right. That is a concern for sure. Also, they're running out of big name actors for their big name jobs. You know what I mean? Like if RDJ wants to go back into MCU stuff, like, again, full respect. Like, I get it. Like, that's very cool. But also, like, I think part of it is that they've gotten so many actors in Hollywood to be in their movies, like so many of them. And like, are they running out of people? They have to start reusing them now. Like, I don't know. I hope that's not the case.
I could see that becoming really dangerous. Then just start using, just reusing all of
and
the
just be like, well, like, a different person could have the same face, and they're not like the same. Like
Cillian Murphy as Victor Von Doom.
Oh, dude, that would go crazy. Yeah, that would go crazy.
Another thing that bums me out is the only the only happy thing I had about Professor Hulk or Smart Hulk or whatever they call him, was that he could become Maestro, and I do feel like this probably takes away that Maestro storyline. For those who don't know, Maestro is Smart Hulk.
Yeah.
Who goes crazy, goes back in time to destroy the Avengers, and he is like way stronger and bigger than the Hulk ever was, but also has the brains of Mark Ruffalo, of Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
So cool. Would have loved that. Especially since they invented time travel. It was just such a way they could have gone with the Hulk stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's not bad casting. I just hope that he's Tony Stark and he's not Victor Von Doom.
There's a bigger plan here that we will see.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and again, that kind of ties into our other movie news as well. Also Marvel, potentially to Doctor Doom related. We got Fantastic Four. The full title is going to be Fantastic Four First Steps, which for me is like, oh my gosh, they're going to have the baby. But I'm also like, so like, I don't know. I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, if it's like an origin story or if it's like they're already established or what. Like, I don't really care. It's clearly not like a reboot.
The MCU universe, which is weird.
I think it is going to be an origin story. So they actually had a teaser, and I saw the teaser on TikTok, and then it got removed because I shared it with somebody. It seems like they're going for it's set in the 60s, so I think it's going to be like an origin thing. And based on what I saw, but it looks good though. Like, it genuinely, like, at least from what I could tell, like, Pedro Pascal is going to be fine. Like, I think all these actors are going to do a really good job.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited for that, but yeah, that's my first thought. It's like, first steps, so they're gonna have the little baby, and I'm just like, all I'm saying is, like, this is what Marvel needed. They needed / need a slam dunk. Putting Pedro Pascal in a daddy role is an instant hit. We've seen this time and time again. We've seen it in Mandalorian. We've seen it in The Last of Us. We've probably seen it somewhere else that I'm not thinking. But making him a daddy is like, that is what gets you money. That's what brings out all the fans. And that's what kickstarts the rest of your Marvel MCU. So
seeing the teaser I saw made me go, huh, okay, because I know people are like, what, Reed Richards? Like, him, Reed Richards? And then I'm like, no, it absolutely works. I think it does.
Again, as I had already mentioned, I grew up watching a lot of Fantastic Four, like, cartoons, but also just the original movies with, like, what was it, Jessica Alba? I think she was in it. And, like, again, Chris Evans. Like, Chris Evans is, like... So and they're not good movies. I fully acknowledge it, but I watched those movies a lot. Both of them, the first one and Silver Surfer. And I, like, really enjoyed it. In fact, if I went back and watched them now, I'd probably remember why they're bad, but also I think that is one of those movies I, like, do have that kind of, like, toxic nostalgia for, where I'm just like...
The second one was definitely rough.
It's rough, but man, something about it. It's,
I mean, Silver Surfer was the best part of that movie, easily.
Yeah, and then, of course, they, like, did, like, the reboot. I never even watched that reboot. It was so bad. Everyone said it was so bad.
You can forget it.
So that's why I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, like, I do want a chance for Fantastic Four to, like, finally redeem themselves and finally be beloved, because it seems like they've missed that chance. Like, I was a kid when I watched those movies and cartoons, so it's really easy for me to just, like, latch on them and be like, oh my gosh, yay! But I don't blame people for, like, not liking them, because
I love that it's Fantastic Four very specifically. Like, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm pretty excited for the most part. It's, again, there's not a lot of, like, Marvel things that they could just reintroduce that will get me excited, but these are some characters that I'm like, I care about these characters, so I'm excited. That's our movie news, though. I mean, there's, like, lots of little here and there things, I think, that like, they even talked about Secret Wars. I think they announced the date for Secret Wars for Avengers as well. I don't remember off the top of my head, but that's all going to be happening. There's a maybe bright future of Marvel ahead of us. Something that they're trying kind of new, different things. People are getting a little bit more excited about it, I think. So hopefully it's for the best. Yeah.
Give me Shang-Chi 2.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. That's the thing, is like there were some good things in that phase, like Shang-Chi, and I was just talking with my husband, and we were talking about how, you know, we'll get back into MCU hardcore if we see Moon Knight in anything, and he's just been in season 1. I don't even know if there's gonna. I mean, they've set it up to season 2, but I'm like, when is that gonna be? And
or whatever the horror stuff was supposed to be.
Yeah, right. So I hope
Hall H was lacking this year.
Yeah, I hope they don't
forget. I thought we were going to see that we didn't.
Exactly. I hope they don't forget some of the good stuff that was in there. I get them. Yeah. In fact, I love Ant-Man. I didn't watch Quantumania. I know Quantumania was bad, but, like, I love Ant-Man as a character, so I also hope they aren't just like, well, that movie flopped, we're not going to bring him back. You know, like, I hope they redeem these people, right? Like, you know.
You think about Thor 1 and 2, they should have never made a Thor 3, and Thor 3 was great.
True, and then Thor 4 was bad. But Thor 5, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, they used to do that. Like, a movie would fail, and they're like, well, we're going to keep going, because we have a plan. Yeah. And now it feels very DC, and like, that didn't work, I guess we'll move on to the next thing. And it's like, just do your whole plan, and then everything kind of works out in the end. When you confuse us and keep, like, shifting the tracks, that's when things get kind of hard to follow.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. I don't know. More Moon Knight would be great. I'm excited for Daredevil.
Yes.
There's a lot that could have been revealed if they've kept quiet. So, Hall H next year better be great, I guess.
I think they had to do reshoots of Daredevil, but I'm really not sure, like, where that show is at. Like, I know they
have like, how many reshoots now? Which reshoot
well,
is this?
They did have to, like, reshoot the whole thing, because I think they even got, like, different writers and stuff.
Yeah, rewrote it. And...
Yeah.
I don't know. MCU has definitely been.
Dude, that reminds me. It's kind of sad that so like my buddy went to the Comic-Con I went to last year, and so he wasn't going to plan on meeting Charlie Cox, but then he went past his booth. There was nobody there, and he's like, "Dude, I'm gonna go meet Charlie Cox."
Yeah.
And, like, he just
Oh,
totally let
man.
him take a picture with him and stuff. I'm like, really? Like, I'd be the first one in that line.
Yeah.
So
good.
people need to get excited for Daredevil again.
Yeah. I'm curious how everything will kind of play out. I think they're starting to understand that they messed up, so hopefully they can figure out where they messed up, could actually fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we can keep going. TV shows that we've watched. I've got a lot of TV, guys. So, have you guys watched any TV?
I might have watched a little bit more Clone Wars, but nothing that I remember.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just watching more of that boxing anime that I've been watching, but then I did watch a little bit of The Punisher.
Cool.
I watched like part of the first episode last night, and I like it. I don't remember what exactly made me decide like, oh, I finally need to watch this, but maybe it's just because like I'm totally into all this MCU stuff happening right now, so I'm just like, just give me more. I'm like, oh yeah, there's more I haven't seen, so yeah. I mean, I've
supposed to
heard
make his
about
return in Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah, so it's like I'm, and I've heard about how like very dark and visceral this show is, especially with like the PTSD thing and stuff like that, and I'm just like,
yeah. So it's a slower show than, especially out of those shows, than most are going to be used to. There's a slow burn, and then the PTSD was such a spin on like what people wanted out of the Punisher. It was like, yeah, guns and violence, and the show like, fully turns that on its head, and it goes, this is what guns and violence do to you.
It's been out for years, but the show opens with him like getting that revenge, right? Like the whole reason he becomes a Punisher.
Yeah,
and then going, what do I do now? Like, and I'm like, oh, that's a hell of an angle. So I'm like, all right, like that makes me want to keep going. Just that angle in particular. So that's a bold move.
It's pretty crazy how they treat the guns and violence and everything in that show.
Yeah.
Masterfully done, I believe.
It's like a reverence for it all, like kind of in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The other Punisher movies were just like, oh yeah, let's just kill everything. This was like,
Action
what are the consequences of that?
This show is kind of doing probably what they should have done with Rambo, instead of making Rambo guns blazing. Like this is probably what.
Yeah.
A follow up.
Man, that'd be cool to take like old Rambo movies and then like just what are the consequences of war
that first one was deep, and then it's like, oh no, we can make money off this. Let's just have them blow people up and like.
Yeah, how funny. Let's see. I finished Cobra Kai.
That's another one, man. Not having Netflix access is it's rough.
Yeah.
I just need to spend like a whole day at my parents' house just binge watching all the Netflix stuff I'm behind on.
Get another trial run and then cancel it before.
Literally,
yeah, there you go. Cobra Kai has, I believe, 10 more episodes. I believe there's 2 more things of 5 episodes. What we're getting.
Yeah, the 3-part thing is weird to me because if they only did 1 more part, I would be okay with it.
Yeah.
Because where they're at now, I'm like, how are you going to do 3? Yeah.
But it's good. It's more of the same. It really is. So much more of the same.
Thing.
Yeah, it's like it just continues to do what it's been doing, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't be mad at it. Then we had Vikings Valhalla. Finished that this week. And it was meh. Which, that's been kind of the theme of the show. That whole show has been kind of meh.
I was going to say, that's what you said last time.
The finale just kind of ends, and you're like, oh, well, that's what you said you're going to do. Cool. All right.
That's crazy.
Like, the show set out to do what it wanted. And I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily a bad show in that sense. It's just the weaker of that genre, I think. So if you like that genre and you're needing more, you can always go to it. But the other show that's out right now is House of the Dragon. And House of the Dragon is still just knocking it out of the park. I know those first, I think, 2 or 3 episodes. We're on episode 7 now. I think the 2 or 3 were a little slow. But it was all necessary storytelling that pays off in the end. And I think that's a really cool thing. I don't want to give anything away, but love when there are writing plots that seem insignificant, and you're kind of like, all right, why are you spending so much time on this? And then it ends up paying off in the end. One more episode of that, I believe. I think next week is this coming Sunday will be the finale. So excited for that. I'm sure it will be crazy. Going to the kid version of Game of Thrones, we have Dragon Prince. I'm only 2 episodes of that. I had my mom watch Dragon Prince like the first couple seasons, and she goes, "Oh, it's like Game of Thrones for children," and I was like, "Yeah."
I was just
you don't know who's who.
I was just talking with Derek. He's actually a reviewer on the site as well, an editor. Because he was telling me that he finished season 6, and he says it's the best season since 3. So I guess that means I'm gonna go watch it. And also, he said it's definitely not for kids. It's definitely kind of dark. Which, to be fair, for a while now, they've kind of had like a weird tonal whiplash. I know we talked about it when like 4 and 5 came out, where it's like, oh, haha, fart jokes, but also like necromancy, and also like really kind of like weird stuff going on there. So, I guess they kind of hone in on that a little bit more in 6.
Dark magic is dark.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, which is important, I think, right? So, anyway, that being said, I do need to go watch it, but you'll have to tell me how it is.
I watched an episode that was like very mushroomy. For those who know, who will know, and it was just very kid-centric and fun and goofy, and so it lays on that every once in a while to remind you that it's a kid show. And I almost wish Netflix has always just done that tonally. They just don't know where they want to land.
Yeah, it definitely feels more like a Netflix thing than a Avatar creator thing, because I know that's part of it. It's like, oh, well, like Avatar was a kid show but also had mature themes. It's like, yeah, but Avatar is still pretty explicitly a kid show that has mature themes that like you can still relate to as an adult. But that's different than like actual content you're seeing, right? Like there's a difference there, and I definitely think that's a Netflix thing more so.
With you,
yeah,
where
totally.
This is like a back and forth.
Exactly. It's like this weird thing where it's trying to remember who its audience is, and it really wants to tell this mature story that, again, if it was like, for example, just on Nickelodeon or just on somewhere else, maybe they'd get away with that. But if it's Netflix, it's like, no, we need to like cater to both. Weird. Yeah. Kind of strange. But
I first noticed that with The Witcher, I think. Was there's a lot of Netflix shows that have this tonal issue. The Witcher season 1, I was like, do you want to be like a Lord of the Rings-esque like fantasy for like, young adults, or are you like gory Game of Thrones?
Yeah, it's like, what are you?
And then every once in a while you're like, are you a kid show? I don't know what this is.
Yeah, and then like Stranger Things even, I think they're mostly really locked in. I think they have a pretty good balance for the most part, but I also know like my parents took forever to watch the last season because they watched the first episode and it was too much for them. They were just like, it's too gory, it's too scary, like it is a little too far. And I'm like, okay.
And what's weird about that show too, I feel like that kind of happened like in the midpoint. So that first season was pretty adult.
Yeah, it was. It really set a tone well.
Scene was, and then you get to the second season, it got more like lighthearted and goofy.
Totally.
Yeah. And then came back to this like really horror and like, what is the show? Where
no, exactly. Like, can we like go in one direction? Can we stop doing like back and forth? You're totally right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you just lose who you can show it to. You don't know.
Yeah, which is a bummer because
like
then you're kind of like, imagine like Dragon Prince, for example. Let's say Derek is right. Maybe let's say Derek, he said he wouldn't show it to
your children, and now you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, you watched through season 5 together, and now you watch season 6 to make sure it's safe for your kid, and then you're like, oh, never mind. It's just like, not. What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Sorry, you can't finish the show.
Yeah, right? Such a bummer. Like, I think, again, to go back to Avatar is a perfect example of everything in life. It really perfectly increased the tension and the sort of pressure and the like, oh yeah, this is like a big end of the world kind of thing happening without compromising that's for a kid's show. It's like, it balanced that super well. It was like, we don't need to show death on screen or gore or anything to like make the stakes higher, They just did a good job with that, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, keep watching and let me know how it is. Apparently it's good.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna derail for a second. I saw this video the other day, and it made me think, and it was so cool, and it's got some Christian value to it. So I was like, oh, we're just gonna shoehorn this in here because we're talking about Avatar.
Okay.
So Avatar Last Airbender, there's a famous scene, especially within the Christian community, of Zuko being like, I thought you'd be mad at me, Uncle Iroh, and he's like, I'm not mad at you. He was like, I was sad that you lost your way, and it's very like just verbatim prodigal son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of knows that, but the flip side of that I didn't see or like think about was the way that Zuko is treated by his father is very like what like non-Christians imagine Christianity to be. It's like, oh, you did wrong, therefore you're punished and you're exiled and I hate you forever. Go and regain your honor and then you can come back into my fold. And I've never thought about that and that being like the way that, you know, non-Christians look at Christianity. And it's this like false belief of how God is. And then you have Iroh that's like, no, you ran off and hope you'd find your way back.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's so cool.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, it added even more depth to something that I've seen the Uncle Iroh thing forever, but
Kind of think it from that perspective too. Yeah. I like that a lot.
yeah. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Go watch Avatar. If you could take anything,
Yeah.
and I'm talking the cartoon, I'm not talking the live action.
I love how last week we were like, just go watch Star Wars.
Just
and
go
then
watch
this
Star
week
Wars.
we're like,
Yeah, I know.
just go watch Avatar.
Everything,
That's what we think about.
the hour-long podcast we do could just get boiled down to like, just watch Star Wars. Just watch Avatar. Just like, don't care about the stuff we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we're geeks or something.
I had no idea.
Yeah. We're going to move on to some TV trailers that have come out. Yeah, they're both trailers. I thought so. Coming out of San Diego Comic-Con. DC really bringing TV stuff home while they work on Superman Legacy, right? Is that the movie?
They're just calling it Superman now. They dropped the legacy part.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
Okay. You know, that movie that they probably should have shown something of at San Diego Comic-Con, but they're like, no, here's some TV shows instead.
They barely got done filming that movie probably like 2 weeks ago.
They could have given me another poster.
I mean, yeah, I would have taken another logo or something. Like they gave us the thing on his chest. So I'm like, yeah.
But completely unrelated to that universe, we have the Penguin trailer, which is the Matt Reeves Batman universe, which has a name. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Batman Crime
something
Ultra
Epic,
Plus.
It's called the Epic Crime Universe, I think, or something.
Yeah. S23 Ultra Plus.
It's considered an Elseworld, I guess. That's what they're calling all these side projects.
Jokes aside, the Penguin actually looks really good. It's like this dark New York crime syndicate like thing going on. I'm kind of down. It does not need to be Gotham at all. Like I think this show would do well just as a like a New York crime mob thing, but it being Gotham, that definitely gets my interest. I'm like, okay, I'll check it out.
My favorite story about this whole thing, which I've shared it before, is how Colin Farrell apparently, whenever he first did the makeup for Penguin, he just walked off set and went to like a Starbucks or something.
Yeah,
like, nobody recognized him.
Yeah,
I think that's so awesome.
I wonder if he stayed in character, if he gave the New York.
Yeah.
It looks amazing, and it does make me really interested in. So they said this is the next chapter. Batman 2 will be, I guess, technically a third chapter. I don't know if they're gonna introduce a Joker in that. I know we've gotten the weird deleted Joker scene with Cohen. I think that's his last name.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll continue with that Joker. It was weird that they released that because I was like, you could still get a different Joker if you
Wasn't
wanted.
part of that actually in the movie still though? Like it was an extended scene for sure.
No, there was no Joker in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they released that. I think while the movie was still in theaters.
Right. Okay.
But it was odd to me to release that. I was like, oh, if you didn't like that, then like so. Anyways, what I'm trying to get at is, I would love to see a Joker of any kind, just the true crazy come in and completely break this very organized looking and very sophisticated crime mob scene. Where
I mean, that's the next phase in the Batman lore is
like it looks like Penguin's really setting up a house of cards here, and the Joker will go in and just pun not intended, but that was great. Really just kind of mess all of this up. So that'll be a lot of fun if that's the direction they go. But this could also have been a Godfather thing, and I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense.
Like what Boba Fett could have been for Star Wars?
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, legit. Yeah, this is 100%. It's just Boba Fett for Batman, but if
Sorry,
Boba
I
Fett
had
was
to
what
bring
it
it
was
up
supposed
again.
to be.
I felt like I had to bring it up again.
It's like the flip. It is what... This is the Boba Fett of the Batman universe if Boba Fett in the Boba Fett universe, Star Wars universe, would have done what it should have done
Oh my gosh.
and been the Godfather of Star Wars.
That is so... That's a sentence.
Yeah. Or it looks like the Godfather of DC, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Need more of that. The other trailer that we have, such a tangent. You can tell he's getting the end of the podcast. The Creature Commandos trailer, which is an animated show in the DCU.
It actually looks pretty fun.
Yeah, I don't hate the DC art style this time. It's still got that like really dark shading. I don't know what it is, and maybe it's just the characters, but like Superman in that really dark shading, the dark outlines really bugs me.
Yeah, the new art style they chose for this like recent universe for all the straight to DVD or whatever
Straight to
movies.
DVD,
Yeah, straight to
yeah.
digital.
Straight to so that was a choice.
Like I couldn't watch them. I don't know why it bugged me so much.
But this looks good. Yeah.
It looked like a bad budget Archer, and Archer is a cable show.
Yeah.
So this looks really good, and it's using those hard lines still, but I don't know, the art style is just different.
It fits
looks
it
like a lot
more,
of fun.
I would say.
Yeah, you've got, it's basically, what's her name that does Suicide Squad?
Amanda Waller.
Amanda Waller, but it's a different team because they can't use humans to do something this dangerous.
Yeah, they're like,
So use a
I
bunch of
thought
monsters.
Task Force X was disbanded or whatever, and she's like, well, that doesn't mean we can't do this. Yeah, she literally says like, oh yeah, they said we couldn't use humans anymore or something like that.
Yeah.
Use creatures, and I'm just like, yeah.
So it looks like goofy fun. I'd be interested to see how in universe this will be. It'll be neat to see like animated stuff get turned into live action. I know as far as Star Wars goes, that's always been a lot of fun with like Clone Wars things. To see something animated first and then get brought to live action is always kind of cool. So I don't know how connected everything will be, but we'll find out. But that is all the news that we really cared about. I'm sure there was more coming out of San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know what it was this year. It just was less exciting than less podcast breaking than usual.
I mean, there was definitely comic news that was interesting for DC. I feel like the comic news for DC got more publicity than the other stuff because they're doing a whole thing they're calling like the Absolute Universe now, which is like a side thing. But like Batman has been redesigned, Wonder Woman, and like all the big Justice League, and they all have like different backstories now.
Oh, that's cool.
But I think that's interesting. Like I've never followed up with like comics as they release, but I might actually with these. So
I need to get that Teen Titans comic.
Oh yeah, but
I gotta find that.
Yeah, no, the DC.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense that
definitely-
Comic-Con would have comic news. I'm glad that they do. I know we've had years where we've had to just talk about like 8 different trailers because there was so much going on. I'm missing E3. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
E3, San Diego Comic-Con. Those were the days.
Literally.
News upon news for us to talk about.
Things are weird
Yeah.
now.
So much exciting things. Yeah. Now AI is taking over everything. And
No.
creativity's dead.
That's sadly accurate. I mean, that's the whole. To circle
Marvel
it back.
just uses nostalgia to capture our hearts.
The more you know.
So bleak. I'm sure everything's gonna be great in the long run. Anyways, you guys geeking out about anything else this week?
Nah.
Nope.
That's on a positive note. Cool. Shelley, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at TheShellshock24.
LJ.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram under LJ the Paladin.
And you can find me on Instagram at Cody Armour. Keep praying, keep gaming. I did that backwards. God bless.
Bye.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.